Everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Remna, and in today's video I'll be talking about all the books that I want to read in August. Whether I'll get to all of them or not, we'll never know. Well, the first book that I plan to read in August, or that I want to read, that I hope to read, inshallah I'll read, is The Way I Used to Be. This one is a pretty heavy book. I know it has to do with trigger warning essay, but I have heard a lot of good reviews about this book. The description on the back of the book says, Eden was always good at being good. Starting high school didn't change who she was, but the night her brother's best friend and then Eden's world capsizes. What was once simple is now complex. What Eden once loved, who she once loved, now she hates. What she thought she knew to be true are now lies. Nothing makes sense anymore, and she knows she's supposed to tell someone what happened, but she can't. So she buries it instead, and she buries the way she used to be. Told in 4 parts, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. This provocative debut reveals the deep cuts of trauma, but it also demonstrates one young woman's strength as she navigates the disappointment and unbearable pains of adolescence, of first love and first heartbreak, of friendships broken and rebuilt, all while learning to embrace a power of survival she never knew she had hidden within her heart. So yeah, I know I'm starting off with something that's pretty heavy, but this has been on my TBR for a while, and I've heard, again, nothing but great reviews about this book and just how deep it is, and the topic in itself within this book. I think it's a good book for me to at least read, and just to see how it is for somebody who's been through that, and be able to understand, and just be able to get an insight on how for her, how she copes with it, and just widen my knowledge. The next book is called Starfish, and this one, again, I've been having it on my TBR for such a long time. And basically the back of the book says, Kiko Himura has always had a hard time saying exactly what she's thinking. With a mother who makes her feel unremarkable and a half Japanese heritage she doesn't quite understand, Kiko prefers to keep her head down, certain that once she makes it into her dream art school, Prism, her real life will begin. But then Kiko doesn't get into prison. At the same time, her abusive uncle moves back in with her family, so when she receives an invitation from her childhood friend to leave her small town and tour art school on the West Coast, Kiko jumps at the opportunity in spite of the anxieties and fear that attempt to hold her back. And now that she is finally free to be her own person outside the constricting walls of her home life, Kiko learns life-changing truths about herself, her past, and how to be brave. So, sounds really interesting. I like just the whole plot of her really discovering herself outside of her small town and learning more about herself in the past and just how to be brave. The author has another book too, I see here. It's called Summer Bluebird. I want to read this one, but obviously I want to get through this one and then read the second one. But yeah, Starfish, I heard, again, good reviews about this book. I think this was released a while ago, but I still want to read it just to get, another insight. And I really love books about characters that are discovering themselves and learning how to be brave. I feel like that for me is very encouraging, so can't wait to read Starfish. Okay, the next book, I don't know how many times I'm going to bring this book up in my TBR again and again, but Love Boat in Taipei. The second book's already out. I feel so ashamed, honestly, to still have this book and not read it yet, but inshallah, I'll read this book in August, or if not in August, even September is fine. So, Ever Wong, I'm just reading the description here on Goodreads. It says, when 18-year-old Ever Wong's parents send her from Ohio to Taiwan to study Mandarin for the summer, she finds herself thrust amongst the very overachieving kids her parents have always wanted her to be, including Rick Rue, the Yale-bound prodigy profiled in the Chinese newspaper since they were 9, and her parents' yardstick for her never measuring up life. Well, just the whole thing of moving abroad and learning a new language, summertime. Okay, well, technically this book is a summertime book, but I'm considering it a fall time book only because she's in school learning Mandarin, and I'm gonna be in school. So yeah, it's gonna be a fall-time book, and it seems promising. I mean, like I know a lot of people really like this book, and the second book's out too. I've had this book. Actually, no, I recently got this book. I'm so excited to start it. There's just a lot of books I want to read. I just, man, one lifetime in all these books. But anyways, so the next book that I want to read in August, which I know I'll definitely somehow find time for this book, and that is Spy X Family Volume 6. I already mentioned it in my July wrap-up, but basically, the end of Volume 5, a love conflict was introduced, and I'm just like, ooh, yes. And so Volume 6 goes into that series. I just love, like, there's action, there's drama, there's comedy, slice of life, there's just everything. Like, this whole manga series has everything. Like, everything you could ever want is in here. Like, it's great. It's such a great time. So yeah, I can't wait to read this. This just looks so amazing. Oh my gosh, ooh. Hold up, y'all, look. Next book that I want to read in the month of August, and this book I just want to be able to get, not necessarily in the month of August per se, but just finish it like before the end of this year, and that is Hana Carries On. I read Aisha at last, and that book was just a masterpiece. I'm gonna read the back of it. It says, sales are slow at the Three Sisters Biryani Poutine, the only halal restaurant in the close-knit Golden Crescent neighborhood of Toronto. Hana waitress there part-time, but what she really wants is to tell stories on the radio. If she can just outshine her fellow intern at the city radio station, she may have a chance at landing a job. In the meantime, Hana pours her thoughts and dreams into a podcast where she forms a lively relationship with one of her listeners, but soon she'll need all the support she can get. A new competing restaurant, a more upscaled halal place, is about to open in the Golden Crescent, threatening her mother's restaurant. When her mysterious aunt and teenage cousin arrive from India for a surprise visit, they draw Hana into a long-buried family secret. A hate-motivated attack in their neighborhood complicates the situation further. As Hana's growing attraction to Aiden, the young owner of the rival restaurant, who might not be a complete stranger after all. As life in the Golden Crescent unravels, Hana must learn to use her voice, draw on the strength of her community, and decide what her future should be. If that's not tea to you, I don't know what is. Like, look at this, all of this. It's a lot. Girl wanting to get into the radio industry and having a podcast, then, having to run her family's restaurant, and now there's this competing restaurant, family coming back from her homeland, bringing in their drama, and so it's a lot. It's good. It's some good stuff, and I feel like I'm just definitely going to enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed Aisha last so much, so I know I'm definitely going to be able to enjoy this one. So the next book that I want to read in the month of August, and this one I feel like is very much needed, and this one I just, like, at this point, if you don't know who she is, obviously you should. Honestly, you should. And that is Yasmin Mujahid. I've been wanting this book, like, ever since I heard that she released it. I'm like, I want it. And I've been debating whether or not to get it, but I'm just like, you know what? It's Yasmin Mujahid. I need this book, and I'm going to get it. And so I got it. It's called Healing the Emptiness, A Guide to Emotional and Spiritual Well-Being. The back of the book just basically sums it up by saying that it's about, overcoming shame and self-hatred, deep emptiness, and just how to get back towards yourself, back to who you are, and how to cope with the troubles of life, how to heal, how to survive, how to reach your God-given potential through the darkness. So a lot of this stuff here. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really great book to read in the month of August. So the last book that I'm going to mention is a book that I've already started reading, but I want to finish it in the month of August, and that is The Ideal Muslima. Again, this book, I did not expect to, like, necessarily read it. Like, this was one of the books, honestly, I was thinking of, like, I don't know if I really want it. But once I started reading it, I'm just like, wow, like, I actually really need this book. And this book is just so great. Like, it just offers so many, like, examples of, like, highly respected women within Islam, and just the sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ, about different women, and also just verses from the Quran, and it's basically, this book is just on how to be like the ideal Muslim woman and what Allah expects from us, and the examples that have been provided from not only the Prophet ﷺ, but also from other women like his wives and other like, you know, prominent Muslim women within history. So again, this book is just really great so far, and I love how it's divided. So it's divided like the Muslim woman and something else. So like there's a chapter of like the Muslim woman and her husband, the Muslim woman and herself, the Muslim woman and her parents, and I really like that, like how it's divided with like, you know, the relationship that you have with yourself. And oh, there's also like the first chapter, which is like a Muslim woman and her Lord, which again, I think the chapters in this book are beautifully divided into like each area of like a Muslim woman's life, like her Lord, the relationship with herself, relationship with her parents, husband, children, like just anyone and everyone you can think of is all included in this book. So I really enjoy this book so far. I'm on, where am I? Like chapter, I think this is chapter 4. Why am I flipping through this? I could go to the context. Yeah, so I'm in chapter 4, and yeah, so far it's really, really good. Again, all these tabs, so you know it's good. And yeah, it's just really insightful, and there's so much, like I've already learned so much, so many women that I didn't know existed, but by reading this book, I'm like, oh, what? Like, there's just so much to learn, and this is a really great book, honestly, if you just really want to be able to learn how to improve yourself as a Muslim woman, or if you really want to know, like, what being a Muslim woman entails, then this book, again, is a really great book to read. And yeah, so hopefully I can finish this in the month of August, and then get through everything else, inshallah. So that's it for my August TBR. I know it's a lot of books. For my summer TBR, honestly, I didn't even touch any of the books that I said I was gonna read. But hopefully in the month of August, I can get through at least half of this pile, maybe all, if I'm lucky, inshallah, who knows. And yeah, so if there are any books that you are really wanting to read in the month of August or just during the fall like season, please let me know, write it in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.